Like a fucking zoo exhibit.
Yeah, but Mr. Mime gets the real treatment because,
And if you look to your left, there's Ryan Reynolds taking a shower.
Oh, people would pay a lot of money for that.
I was gonna make a joke about mimes and leave the first 30 seconds of this podcast in silence as my opening bit because they can't talk. But then I realized that's not very good content. So, hello everybody, welcome back to Kill A Delibird, the podcast where we watch Pokemon, we talk about Pokemon, we rank it and we compare it and we do the fun things. I'm Callan, you know me, I'm the one that knows things about Pokemon. My co-host, who doesn't, is also here. It's Graham. Graham, how you doing?
Good, I was actually miming this whole time asking you for a loaf of bread and you did not deliver.
Oh, I'm sorry
Turns
about that.
out miming does not transmit through an audio format.
Who would have thought?
Looking for innovations. Come on, that's inclusivity, right? Where are the mimes at? Yeah, we can't hear you.
Speaking of including people, we got a special episode today. We got another guest on. It's my buddy Curtis. Curtis, how you doing?
Mime? I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Perfect. It's Mr.
That's a good
Mime
start.
himself. We got him for the episode.
We got the Mr. Mime. We got Mime in the studio. It's going to be a good one. So, Curtis, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and your history with Pokemon?
So for me, I've been a fan of Pokemon since, I think a lot of people when they were really young, watched the TV shows growing up, like all the time, bought the Pokemon cards at the local 7-Elevens, the whole kit and caboodle. And since then I have been, a dedicated fan for as long as I can remember.
Very nice.
Well, don't bury the lead. I think the best bit of your Pokemon history is that you did an interview a couple years ago with the singer of the original Pokemon theme song.
Yes, that is right. That was actually an iconic highlight.
Cool.
Being able to chat. I did not think he would say yes. So for anybody out there who's like, I'm looking for guests, just send it.
That's what I've heard in terms of getting guests and things. Just ask. You never know who might be totally into it. Well, but we'll link that in the podcast notes.
Definitely link that. That's
so if you're interested in that.
What a good find.
It's very cool.
I very much appreciate that.
And I can attest also to Curtis's Pokemon fandom. If you have ever wanted a good laugh at me frustratingly beating my head against a table, just watch me try to coach Curtis through a Pokemon game because it does not go well.
The best is when we do the Nuzlocke where we're both when you're attached to me.
That was horrible. We gotta get back to that though. That was fun. It was horrible, but it was fun.
Attached how? Explain this Nuzlocke.
A Soul Link Nuzlocke is a Nuzlocke where two people play a Pokemon game and their encounters are linked. So if his starter's on his team, my starter has to be on my team. If his starter dies, my starter dies. Basic concept.
There was a lot more if my starter died, his died than the other way around.
A lot more of his Pokemon dying. I believe you got swept by a Gyarados at some point.
We don't talk about Gyarados.
Could you throw? Could you purposefully have someone die to take out someone on theirs?
No, it's cooperative.
Oh, you both want to succeed. Okay,
you want to win, yeah.
Gotcha.
But sometimes I would do it just because,
because you didn't understand type matchups.
Oh, you're an Ash. Got it.
Type matchups don't understand me. That's the difference.
Hell yeah.
I was begging Curtis to put a type matchup table on his screen so he would read them, but alas, it was good content though.
Maybe this year we'll brew one up for the later half.
Absolutely, I'm down anytime. So, Graham,
you
got something for us this week?
Yes, yeah. Well, okay, one more thing I want from Curtis before we get into this. So the other lead to Barry, this is the Mr. Mime Hour. Our favorite subhuman freak who's in love with Ash's mom, as are we all. Mr. Mime, we let guests kind of pick the episodes they're going to jump in on. We want them to pick one. If it's a Pokemon they like or some memory, I want to hear it. What's the deal with Mr. Mime?
So I think like everybody, Mr. Mime is a unique case. And when I play Pokemon, I don't go for the cool looking or the epic Charizards. I like the misfits. And so Mr. Mime is he's like one of the almighty admirals of the misfits and always has been because he literally is like one of the only embodiments of a Pokemon that is like referred to as like could be a human, and like we just don't question it. And so for first gen in the first season, I had to pick Mr. Mime. That, and if anybody's watched Pokemon Boris growing up on YouTube, there's a good Mr. Mime bit in that video that I just loved growing up, and so that's why I got to go with Mime Time. He's a one of a kind.
Mime Time.
It really is.
That's
Admiral
awesome.
of the Misfits is a great way to
that's
describe
that's
Mr.
true. He
Mime.
would
I love
be
it.
the mascot of the island of misfit toys, like
Yeah.
where they all wind up.
Like, you know, they'll never put like Mr. Mime on a plushie or that. Maybe they have, and I just haven't
I'm
witnessed
pretty
it.
sure they have. I'm looking that up.
But I would not debate it if they were like, yeah, Mr. Mime's not a plushie. You know, I'd be like, you know, I understand why, but we need it.
Him and Jinx are sort of like the king and queen of
Ooh.
awkward Pokemon
Very true.
Especially Gen 1.
in Gen 1. Yeah. But are there like human-esque Pokemon later?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really? Okay, delightful.
There are some very anthropomorphic Pokemon. Like, disturbingly anthropomorphic.
Disturbingly anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
What a phrase. What a phrase.
I'm putting a photo in the chat right now.
Oh,
of,
did you find a plush?
Mr. Mime plush.
Oh.
I actually love it.
Oh.
It
Oh.
exists. It is reasonably cute, actually.
Yeah, you know, they could have taken this the other direction and I wouldn't
Yeah.
have questioned it, but like
Yeah.
that's a pretty adorable Mr. Mime.
They could have
That's
made
great.
a weird
Love 'em.
life-size sex pillow kind of thing. That probably exists too. Maybe
Someone's
don't
probably
Google
done
that,
that.
though.
That's more of an Etsy thing.
Immediately on an FBI watch list. Okay, so I'll keep my list section short this week, but it's all about mimes. So I was thinking, mimes need help too. You know, we don't think about mimes enough. So here are 5 titles for self-help books for mimes. Okay, at the bookstore, self-help books specifically for mimes. All right, the first one: Break the 4th Invisible Wall. Take your mime crimes to the next level by stealing from the crowd. Instructions. That'd be
That's terrifying.
That'd be a good hustle.
It's about like a horde of Mr. Mime running at an audience.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that mime and crime rhyme. Like, you know, like that's it.
Yeah, they're the real thugs. You know what's up. All right, number 4. White facing. Harlequinessential tips for mime makeup. That's for putting on their makeup. White facing. All right. Awkward one. Number 3. Dating tips for mimes. Say everything by saying nothing.
Oh,
Aw.
that's
very cute.
They need love too. All right. Number 2.
That's debatable.
Number 2. Just hit them with a baguette already. How to deal with hecklers in miming. I would love seeing that on a shelf, eh?
Are we hitting the mimes with the baguette, or the mimes hitting
The
us
mime's
with
hitting
baguettes?
us with the baguette, hitting the heckler.
But they
with
don't
the baguette.
have baguettes.
Oh, they do.
They only have invisible. They have invisible baguettes.
Yeah.
and those
And it
hurt.
works.
Let me tell ya, that can still leave a sting.
Sounds like you're talking from experience.
Yeah,
You
so I
haven't
was
been hit
at
by a
the
mime?
supermarket the other day. Yeah, you haven't?
Number 2? Or
Nah,
one?
we're at the finale. Number 1.
Oh, already.
Number
It
1.
flew by.
Cirque de so what? Put the me back in mime and find your purpose. All right. As existentialism and mimes. What a good way to kick off a Mr. Mime episode. You want to get into it?
Yeah, I mean, if I look at a Mr. Mime and I think, where has my life gone? So, I get it.
Right.
No, you got it all wrong. It's where can my life be?
Oh, there you go. How much further up can we go?
Yep.
He's living. And plus, Ash's mom loves him. And that's a win.
Okay, yeah, so we didn't even bring up what episodes we're talking about today. We're talking about episode 66, it's Mr. Mime Time, and episode 67, Showdown at the Poke-ké Corral. So let's jump into It's Mr. Mime Time, which on the episode title card, I don't know if you caught this, it says it's Mr. Mime Time. They misspelled it.
Oh. No, I
How
did
could
not.
they?
Did
So
they
we open the
actually?
Yeah, it's Mr. Mime, M-I-M-I-E.
Dang.
It's a weird typo.
Yeah, I don't know how that one got passed, but I just want to say, before we get into this episode, I was going into these ones. These are filler. Probably not going to be very good. This episode fucking rules.
Yeah, it's
This
awesome.
is such a good episode.
they are awesome. I was kind of like, these are, they're both awesome in different ways. This one's awesome for
Second one's
the
fine.
chaos. The second one, I have a reinterpretation that's making it better in my imagination. We'll get into that later. It's like more of a slice of life thing. But yeah, I agree. This one was pure chaos and very fun.
It's beautiful. We open the episode. The gang are at a video payphone, ancient technology, calling Ash's mom. They get the machine, the video answering machine. That's wild.
Ancient future technology.
Where might mom be? My theory was at Oak's lab, getting busy.
Right.
Don't
We've been
you
over
But that's
that
not what we'll
before. She isn't just Oak's plaything, though. Maybe she was taking a day class. She's going back to school, learning
broadening her
how
horizons.
to do taxes. I don't know.
So, as we saw in the last episode, they're heading home to find out more about the Pokemon League from Professor Oak. And Ash is so excited, he starts running down the path, and boom, runs into an invisible wall.
Classic.
Where did this wall come from? We look up, and climbing said wall is the freak of nature, the Hellion demon, the Lovecraftian horror himself, Mr. Mime.
The barrier Pokemon uses pantomime to make walls appear. He's a rare Pokemon. Ash wants to capture this thing. We've been talking about Mr. Mime for a while, but how do you describe him? He's a clown
He's
and
a
a
dude.
Pokemon.
He's a guy.
He is like those stick men that you use for pivots where they have dots where the joints are. That's Mr. Mime with Mickey Mouse gloves and like some majestic boots.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
and Pikachu,
And long
Pikachu rosy cheeks.
and weird hair. That I don't know if it's even
Is
hair.
it like Krusty the Clown hair? Or are they
no
two boots?
Yeah, I was on the two boots crowd. Like I thought it was just two socks, and whether there's horns under there or not, I don't know. But that was always my interpretation.
It's like no one has ever seen it and lived.
Yeah, like maybe the reason why Mr. Mime can make barriers is because he's got like mystical horns, like two unicorn horns coming out the top of his head that he covers with his boots.
With the souls of those who've seen it sucked into them.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's Mr. Mime. It's an eldritch horror.
Mhm.
That's basically it.
A god,
Um,
I prefer.
Did you guys know, because this is something that a lot of people bring up, when Gen 2 came around and gender was introduced for Pokemon other than Nidoran, Mr. Mime is not a exclusively male Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know if I ever got that far. I just assumed, which makes an ass out of.
Yeah, you gotta ask. You gotta ask.
So yeah, you can have a female Mr. Mime, and this is solely because its Japanese name translates to barrier. There is no Mr.
Oh, there's no miss.
And it's not.
Oh,
It's not a
neat.
gendered name in Japanese.
We just got
So
blessed
they-
with that.
They just named it Mr. Mime for some
That
reason.
was
They were just
straight
like,
up-
What is this thing?
They just
It's a mime.
looked at it and named it. Like
Yeah.
they didn't know anything about it.
It's like Seal.
That exactly.
Seal, Mr. Mime. They just looked at a bunch of these Pokemon and were like, tongue, lick tongue, licky tongue. And that was it.
The Mister part was always so confusing though, because to us English speakers, like that makes it even more apparent that it's a person.
Yes.
You know?
It's so formal.
They don't hit
Exactly.
any other Pokemon, to my knowledge, with the Mister
With the
like
Mr.
prefix.
Mr. Pikachu, like that doesn't sound right.
What do you guys think Mr. Mime's first name is?
Mister.
George
think they're-
Costanza
No.
mime.
Mister's the title, as we would call our teachers. So like Mime would be his last name. I'm
Oh.
gonna go with Terrence.
Yeah, or Mortimer. He's got one of those names.
Ooh, Mortimer's good.
He's got a pedophile name. That's really what you're getting at, right? Apologize if your name is Terrence or Mortimer. We didn't mean that personally.
We don't want to bring
Sure.
yeah.
I'm sure you're lovely.
All right, back to the episode. That's Mr. Mime for you.
Right. Nash wants to capture it, but so does somebody else.
Girl, some woman in this lion tamer outfit.
I thought it
She
was
also
like
comes along with the capture.
equestrian gear at first.
But
Yes, it's like lion taming.
Didn't think that.
It's supposed to be like
Yeah.
a circus, whatever, conductor. I don't know what they're called.
Ringmaster.
Ringmaster.
Ringleader.
Thank you. Yeah.
But Brock does his thing. She wants to catch it. Brock simps for her. We haven't really, I don't know if we've seen a really big horny Brock moment in a while.
It's been a
Hot
while.
minute.
I was very happy that it was on this episode. It brought me right back to where I felt like I belonged, where I was like,
childhood.
that's the Brock we know.
Yeah.
And kind of somewhat love in small doses. So the Mr. Mime runs away. No one catches it. I believe this woman throws a ball. It hits the invisible wall. And Brock takes all of the blame. It's all his fault.
It's all their fault. So they're going to help him. He's like, oh, we're so sorry. We will help you to the ends of the earth. Doesn't even know her name at this point.
Don't matter. Love don't lie.
So we cut to the circus. We learn that this woman is Stella, and she is the ringmaster for the circus. They're looking for a new Mr. Mime to perform, as the one they have won't go. And this is when I realized, oh god, there's 2 of them in this episode.
Yep. Sort
I don't
of
like that.
3. I mean 2,
Yes.
but sort of 3.
And we see the original Mr. Mime they had at the circus. It's just lounging around, eating snacks. This is a mood.
Inside of his trailer, like a movie star trailer.
Yeah.
He's just lounging.
They gave him like a viewing window, which is even more unsettling. It's like, I'm pretty sure other famous like movie stars that have a trailer don't have like a freaking viewing window on the side of it to be like, yeah, this is them.
Like a fucking zoo exhibit.
Yeah, but Mr. Mime gets the real treatment because, you know.
And if you look to your left, there's Ryan Reynolds taking a shower.
Oh, people would pay a lot of money for that.
And so it's just laying there, and it won't do anything. It's become all lazy. Stella believes she overtrained it. She was too tough, and it stopped listening to her. I thought they were going to make a comparison with Charizard, that Mr. Mime got too strong and stopped listening to Stella, but we didn't get that.
It's kind of the opposite.
That it's not strong at all?
Or
no,
it's
I
was thinking about opposite from the perspective of the trainer, that Stella's like too competent.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Ash, who is not good enough for Charizard in Charizard's eyes.
So their plan is to make their Mr. Mime jealous, so it'll go back on and perform. Misty notes, just like how Ash gets jealous of Gary. Ooh.
Misty
something.
always spitting facts in this show. If I'm being honest, like Misty,
she's the reality checker.
Yup. Misty calls out
Ash.
all bogusness, like nothing goes by.
Oh yeah. And she's, they do this like very 90s gendered thing where she's the fact spitter of like emotional things, and Brock is the one of like sort of world building. But Misty is usually right. And Brock usually doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He'll throw these like quote unquote facts around, and they're just like nonsense.
That's Lapras telepathy. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
From the snow episodes. So Brock is going to take it on himself to get them a new Mr. Mime, however he can. And then I wrote down in my notes, Brock the Rock, and I don't remember what this bit was. I didn't write down enough detail.
Yeah, so he's saying he'll get you a Mr. Mime, and he goes, they don't call me Brock the Rock for nothing.
Right.
And Misty goes, that's because you got rocks in your head.
Boom.
Got him.
Smashed. Again with the truth bomb.
But he's not planning on catching a Mr. Mime. He's going to make one. And Ash is going to help him with that. And it gets very creepy.
Yeah, we get the creepiest Brock animation ever. It's like dark, and he's got his creepy hands, and he's evil looking, and he's laughing.
Very fitting for a Mr. Mime-centered episode, but I digress.
He's straight savage when he signs Ash up. Like he holds nothing back, and then when Ash like does a little bit of pushing back, and Ash is like why do I gotta be the Mr. Mime? They just immediately just make fun of his height, and they're just like, yeah, well, you're the only one who's the proper height, so suck it up.
Ash,
a little
Ash
short
is a
for a
king.
stormtrooper.
Oh. So meanwhile, Team Rocket descends into some headquarters. They apologize to the boss for the incident at the Viridian Gym. Giovanni doesn't give a shit. He's back to looking after Metal Sonic.
Yeah, so that's what we've been calling this mysterious
Pokemon. We don't know what it is.
We don't know what it is. It's Metal Sonic, the ultimate life form.
And they go flying off to look for rare Pokemon. And it's not like rare Pokemon come up and smack you in the face, Meowth says. As a flyer for a circus with a bunch of rare Pokemon, come up and smack him in the face.
Meowth is goated.
Perfect timing. Yeah, we're big fans of Meowth on the
big
podcast.
Meowth guys over here.
Honestly,
his
makes the
puns,
show
really elevate existence, I would say. I would go that far.
They make Meowth seem like the mascot of Team Rocket, but really Meowth is Team Rocket. Like, no, without Meowth as the trifecta of the three, it would not have the same charm.
Absolutely
not.
And Jesse and James are so incompetent. Meowth, you're like, he's kind of incompetent too, but you're like, I could kind of trust him to get some things done.
He's a schemer,
two, like, not at all.
He's a schemer at heart.
Yeah.
His plans, I think, work more often.
I think they work more often, yeah.
But they still don't work.
No.
So back at the circus, they have a new Mr. Mime. Looks like a good, proper Mr. Mime. It's actually Ash in a Mr. Mime suit. Brilliant.
Yeah, Brock says he was too tall, couldn't do it. Misty goes, but my face, or something like that.
You can't cover this face.
Oh, right. So she's too cute to be Mr. Mime?
She's too pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not able to do it. And they beg Ash to do it. Eventually, he concedes, and then Stella starts whipping him. And it's great. I love it.
Oh, yeah, she flips here right away, and suddenly she's going Simon Belmont on him.
And we get some really fun music.
Like
and I
surfer
think this is original.
Yeah.
This is like a new track, and I loved it. It's a ton of fun as Stella like chases Ash around this circus, making him do the things that he needs to do. She's like the television character Gordon Ramsay of Ringmasters.
That's exactly what she is. She's like, this is the worst Mr. Mime I've seen in 10 years. It's fucking raw. Just whipping him.
But Ash isn't very good at pretending that there's a wall in front of him, and as such gets whipped a bunch, as one does.
That's the whole thing she's training him to do, right? Pretend he's standing in front of a wall.
Yeah, that's like the only thing he's trying to do.
He's like, how do I do it harder?
Meanwhile, the original Mr. Mime is still just snacking and napping, and that's beautiful. Now it's circus time. It's time for the performance.
Woohoo.
We have a large crowd drawn, and it's a full house. There's a Ponyta, Rapidash, Machoke, Execute, Tangela, Dodrio, and of course the star of the show, it's Mr. Mime, Ash. I think the only one of these we have not seen yet is Tangela?
We must have seen a Tangela at Erica's, no?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Poor Tangela.
Yeah.
It's still not featured, but I'm pretty sure it's the first appearance.
Well, I don't totally remember. I thought it would have been an...
Oh, no, she did use one. Erica did use one. In her
Oh, there you go. Knew it. I'm
Okay.
a genius. Who's the Pokemon genius now?
Congratulations, you got one thing
I
right.
got one
Well
thing
done.
right.
I got to witness
And
it.
I'm running with it.
Yeah, the start of the show is Ash in this Mr. Mime costume. He looks out into the crowd. His mom is there. Aww.
Yeah, almost
Cute.
reaches out. He's almost like, hey, Mom.
That's why she didn't answer the phone, because she was on the way to the circus. I love beautiful
Exactly,
foreshadowing.
exactly.
Great foreshadowing.
It all comes together.
And then the power goes out. Whoa. Of course, it's Team Rocket.
Yeah.
They
they're-
start doing their motto
They're doing the
from a flying
they're
trapeze.
doing trapeze while they're doing the motto. And this is actually
Incredible.
pretty entertaining. They like fall halfway through the chant, but they still pull it off. They like bounce back up, land perfectly, nailed it.
I was really hoping that they would bounce off of the net, and the force of the net throwing them back up would just cause them to go blasting off again already.
And that's it. And then they're out.
And that
of
was
there.
it. Yeah.
That would be good.
All they want to do is catch this Mr. Mime. They want to kidnap Mr. Mime, and so they throw a net. And Brock dives to save Stella and leaves Ash to get kidnapped by Team Rocket.
Classic Brock. Priorities.
What else do we expect?
What else do we
Nothing.
expect is right.
Nothing.
So they're flying off with the Mr. Mime. I like this exchange. Meowth is like, see you clowns later. And James is like, clowns? That was a good one, Meowth.
So Ash's mom approaches. She knew it was Ash all along,
Okay,
somehow.
what the fuck was with that? How did she know?
I don't know.
Does Ash have like a really noticeable gait or something? Like just how he walks?
It's a mother's intuition.
I guess so.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Ash's mom's Lapras psychic telepathy. It was in her all along.
I think it's just because after Ash got kidnapped, like Brock and Misty and Pikachu ran out onto the thing, and they were like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And Ash isn't there, so she must have put two and two together. Deli is a
Oh,
smart
that
woman.
actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, good point.
Logic in Pokemon? That's not right.
Yeah, I was just expecting
normal.
nonsense.
And so we cut to the next scene. where they have waited until the entire circus cleared out to continue this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
They just waited.
Maybe people cleared out really fast.
With all those people, have you
you're
ever
right.
seen...
Parking was a nightmare.
Yeah, you can never get people out of those places fast enough. It's a nightmare. So Delia is sure that they'll return Ash once they realize he's not a Pokemon. Sure.
Yeah, she
mean,
kind of cared at first, and then she doesn't give a fuck. She's like, it'll work out.
He'll be fine. So cut to a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Team Rocket is eating something out of cans. I thought they were potatoes, and then I saw the cans, and then I had no idea.
Oh, they were out of cans. I thought they were loaves of bread. Yeah, I didn't really know.
No idea. Curtis, what do you think it was?
Oh, man. Peaches.
Peaches?
Peaches
Okay.
come in a can. They were put
That
there
is
by
true.
a man.
And so Ash gets out of his ropes and reveals himself to Team Rocket using the start of the Team Rocket motto music. I loved that. I loved
This
it.
whole sequence is just amazing. Like, from here, like, next couple minutes, amazing.
It's so good. He reveals himself. Team Rocket are flabbergasted. They're like, it's a half twerp, half mime. And I thought for a second that they thought this actually was like a hybrid child.
That
Mr.
is what
Mime.
they thought it was.
I'm
Because then
confused.
Ash has to go, I'm not a Mr. Mime. I just play one on TV. Yeah, they absolutely. James's line when he first reveals goes, his head comes off. Like,
Yeah.
it takes a
That's
long
true,
time
yeah.
for them to clue in that this is a costume. They think they're watching some kind of grotesque metamorphosis.
The twerp has been merged with a Mr. Mime.
It's like the weird 80s Jeff Goldblum sci-fi horror, The Fly, where the scientist is accidentally turning himself into like a fly monster anthropomorphic. They just assume that Ash is a scientist and he accidentally gamma-rayed himself into a Mr. Mime Ash hybrid monster.
Yeah, Ash throws the head back on for some reason and leaves in the balloon.
That's my favorite part because he's so low-key about it, too, because he just slaps the helmet back on and is just like, all right, well, I'm out of here. And he just casually walks out the door and, like, shuts it behind him, leaving Team Rocket sitting there, still trying to contemplate, like, you know, what happened with their the Mr. Mime. And, yeah, it's beautiful.
Leaves him completely speechless. And he's lifting off in the balloon and he hits him back with, this time your hot air came in handy. Oh, Ash is spitting fire today.
I forgot about that
Good job,
line.
Ash.
He's so competent suddenly.
So back at Delia's house, they have eaten lunch. Very important story beat there. As a Mr. Mime, the Mr. Mime from, I believe, the beginning of the episode, peers from the bushes. Mr. Mime. Mime.
Mime?
Yeah. And so Delia is in the house doing something when she looks over to her sliding glass pane windows. And there, standing there, face against the glass, Mr. Mime is just peering in the house, staring at her. That is fucking nightmare fuel.
And it doesn't bug her at all, though.
No. She's like, oh, it's a Mr. Mime. Delia must have seen some shit in her time.
Oh,
Yo.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's
She's a strong woman. She's done a lot.
But she's not actually freaked out because she thinks this is Ash.
Yeah. She assumes that it's the Ash from before.
So
but
she
it's
lets it in.
so good how long she thinks it's Ash for.
Yeah, also brings up the thing is that my question I always thought is who made the Mr. Mime costume? Because it didn't just fool like one person or the crowd who's watching from a distance. Like it's literally traumatizing multiple adults in this show. So it must have been like hyper realistic.
Oh, good
I think
point.
I think Brock.
Well,
I think Brock.
yeah, they
did
sort
it.
of make it sound like Brock did it, but from that perspective, he should get a job on movie sets.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
screw Pokemon breeding.
Brock's a crafty dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lets in the Mr. Mime. She thinks it's Ash, despite the fact that it keeps going, Mime, Mime.
She's like, you're really into the bit. I love it.
Can really appreciate a good, long comedic bit.
A method actor, if you will.
She makes it lunch. Meanwhile, Ash lands the balloon outside, and he runs in the door. He's like, Mom, I'm home. And she's like, I know. You're eating lunch. You're in the kitchen. And she turns around, and there's 2 Mr. Mimes.
And we get what might be the weirdest but also best line of the episode. Ash's mom goes, does Ash have a twin brother? And this
I think you would know.
I could not comprehend. Yeah, A, how would she not know that? And B, they're both Mr. Mimes. She hasn't seen 2 Ashes. She's seen 2 Mr. Mimes. So her assumption is that they're both Ashes in costumes? I that was just mind-boggling.
Incredible. But Mr. Mime gets spooked, and Ash reveals himself. Delia insults her own child. I thought it was strange that you were eating so nicely.
Yeah, that you had manners.
Ooh.
Less manners than a wild Mr.
Roasted.
Mime.
And so he asks Mr. Mime to go to the circus to help out the circus people. He doesn't want to, really, until Delia persuades him with the promise of desserts.
Yeah.
Which, that does it for me, too.
Everybody
So,
should
I
be
get
giving up on that one. Yep.
Cut to Team Rocket. They're in a fucking tank now.
I wrote down fucking sick. This tank is like a Warhammer figurine. It's so cool. It's like black with like red touch-ups and the red R's on the side.
Add this to the list of cool Team Rocket vehicles.
Curtis, we've talked about this before, how Team Rocket's gadgets will go from like these stupid wimpy little like devices that they seem to have spent a lot of effort making. Like one time it was like a tickle machine to like a Kangaskhan mecha, like an actual mech or here a tank. Like their funding just wildly varies episode to episode.
Oh, and it's 100%, and it's always the best because it's like when they show up, you just know what kind of day you're gonna get based on what they're pulling up with.
For sure.
Yeah, every day they spin a wheel, and the wheel tells them how much budget they get for that day's schemes.
Should be the horoscope for Poke nerds. It's not what month it is. It's like if you watch an episode, what Team Rocket gadget is it?
What was their budget on
Yeah,
the
what's the
spoken
budget?
day?
If Team Rocket uses a vehicle resembling a Pokemon, you will have a good day today.
Oh,
Fantastic.
fortune cookies.
I also swear, like, lots of cartoons just love giving, like, the villains tanks. I always saw it in cartoons.
True.
Like, Kirby back at ya. Like, King DDD has a tank on, like, the first episode, and he's just bombing around on the countryside, shooting things with his tank, and it's just like, yep. I want to know, like, who made the decision that it's, like, the first vehicle a villain in a kid's cartoon should get is a tank. Like, that's just, not a Jeep, not like an ATV or a motorcycle. It's just tank. That's where it starts.
I mean, tanks are pretty cool.
It is
Definitely
pretty cool.
see that in like a Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon too.
Yeah, like Robotnik would definitely jump
He
straight
would just
to
roll
a
up
tank.
in a tank. Yeah.
So their plan is to shoot capture missiles. I thought they were going to blow up the circus entirely.
Live capture missiles. Yeah.
But they're going to use live capture missiles, which are missiles with nets. So, and then we get more original music, which I'm pretty sure it's original. I loved it. They shoot these net missiles, and they net all of these Pokemon to the ground.
They got a bullseye. Meowth says, "You mean a cat's eye?"
Oh, meow. That's a little weak, but okay.
Yeah.
No, we praise it because it's Meowth.
Yeah. Well, by weak, Kellen actually means amazing. It's just how he talks.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and by sure, he means I love you guys. I understand.
Okay.
good to know.
What do I mean by okay, Graham?
You mean let's get on with the episode? So yeah, the circus workers get all the Pokemon in the trucks, and this is so funny. So you think that would like hide the Pokemon? Team Rocket nets the trucks. Like these live capture missiles also work on
Ow!
trucks.
It's incredible. But they find Stella running off with the Mr. Mime. He trips, she like grabs and throws him on his back, and Stella is trying so hard to save Mr. Mime. He finds the respect back in his heart. She sees the passion and the love she has for him. He finds it in himself to respect her again. And then Ash jumps in front of the capture missile. He intercepts. Ash is back, everybody.
Yeah, Ash is
Bing,
back,
bong.
and Ash and Pikachu reunite. Very cute.
And we get the good music. Pikachu Thunderbolts, and it does nothing. The tank's made of rubber.
The biggest Uno flip that I love it.
You can rock us, but you can't shock us. Wow.
You forgot about my trap card, a rubber tank. Tanks are probably lightning resistant, right? Like cars.
I imagine.
Like a tank already.
That's a good question. You'd think it. I feel like it would be grounded. So if your vehicle gets struck by lightning, it doesn't yuck you up too bad.
It goes around the outside. I think the tank would be the same.
We may have to ask Nolan about the logistics about.
Well, shout us out in the
electricity.
Comments if you think the rubber tank was necessary.
Ask Jeeves.
So, and then we get the same music track that we just got like 10 seconds ago when Pikachu went for the Thunderbolt, as Ash risks it all on Charizard, and Charizard comes out, and he also does nothing.
He poses like one of your French girls.
Yep. Classic Charizard. Doesn't do anything. Team Rocket say a bunch of stuff, but the only notable line is Meowth going, "But thanks for the memory, pal."
See? Another S-tier Meowth line. They're all S-tier.
So Delia gets Mr. Mime to jump in.
That's Ash's mom,
the
right?
Sweet,
Ash's mom?
Yeah. To the sweet electric guitar riff music.
I thought it was a keyboard synth. But yeah, regardless, it kicked ass.
It's something electric and it's awesome.
Yeah, something electric. Something you gotta plug in, like all the best things are.
Team Rocket fires the missile, but Mr. Mime throws up a barrier to block it. And then they go to smash the wall with the tank, but it's far too sturdy for their piddly little vehicle. They decide to go around and turn around, but then the circus Mr. Mime jumps into action and does the same thing. Walls work, people.
Yeah, he's inspired. He's like, you're building a wall, I'm building a wall, we're all building walls.
I think it is interesting to know that both Mr. Mimes have very different voices.
Yes, that's a very good point.
And we got both of them here. When the impressions were coming earlier, I was like, this could be the both Mr. Mime. Yeah.
Mime.
See, we got him here, folks. These are the mimes from the episode.
And so the two Mr. Mimes team up to build this giant wall on all four sides around Team Rocket's tank to trap them in. Beautiful.
We get the amazing line, "That's wall, folks."
Beautiful. And so we get some resolution then. Delia has already nicknamed Mr. Mime. She's going to call him Mimey. Very creative.
See, this is why Ash's mom is the best. She will love even this,
freak of nature.
Exactly. This abandoned trash Pokemon. Even she will find it in her heart. And that's beautiful, man.
And so Team Rocket in their wall trap try to fire all the missiles at the walls to break it down. But it just creates, I think, like this cannon effect where the pressure shoots them up out of it and they blast themselves off, which TMI. We don't need to know that.
Beautiful. No, we need to know that.
Themselves off. I didn't think of that. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and that's the end of the episode. So let's move on.
No.
What else? What else?
They do that, and then we go back to the house, and Mr. Mime is cooking.
Oh, right. And they're like, "This Mime is a better son than Ash." And they'll laugh.
This member of the family actually has manners and helps out in the kitchen.
Whew. Doesn't Ash suck? And they'll laugh some more.
Ash has been replaced. Yeah. And that's the episode.
All right. So let's go to our next segment's literary hour. So for comparison to literature, my comparison this week actually isn't to a piece of literature per se. It is to a real life incident. Are you ready? Does that count? I'm going to make it count. No, it counts.
Okay.
It counts. So one of the
I'm
plot
just more
devices.
curious as to what the hell this is.
One of the plot devices here is an accidental kidnapping. They go to steal the Mr. Mime. They accidentally kidnap Ash. Are you with me?
Yep.
Much like on the warm summer Sunday of 1959, when the then Vice President Richard Nixon was accidentally kidnapped by Walt Disney. Did you know that this happened?
Nope, I did not know that happened.
Richard Nixon was visiting Disney World, I believe, or land, I'm not really sure. And Walt Disney was showing off this new monorail that they had built, okay? And the monorail driver was so excited to get going that when Richard Nixon and Walt Disney had stepped onto the monorail, he kicked it off before the Secret Service could join. So, for like 5 minutes while this thing was going on, Richard Nixon was technically kidnapped because his Secret Service couldn't get to him by Walt Disney.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just
That was my favorite book.
a wild sentence. That's your favorite Disney story?
No, see, that's my favorite Disney book.
Kidnapping of Richard Nixon.
That's my favorite Disney plot.
Oh, does that make Richard Nixon a Disney princess?
Yup.
Tricky Dick, my favorite Disney princess.
Fan art, please. Fan art. Richard Nixon is a Disney princess. I want that. I'm writing it down.
Be careful
There
what you
you
wish
go.
for.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God.
That's most of these on this list.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, that takes us to the four pour.
That was your literary hour.
Yeah. And you liked it. So that's on you. The four pour. This is the plastic ping pong pitcher of objective rankings. We're going to select 2 randomly selected categories from here. Rank the episode based on that. You can hear Kellen fishing around for a category. What's the first category?
First category will be anime sweat drops.
Oh, that's me. Okay, so Curtis, this is that animation trope where they draw the sweat drop if there were memorable ones that were, like funny or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Brock makes one when Charizard poses like a French girl. There's when Mr. Mime is saying that like when he agrees to help Ash's mom because she'll make dessert. There's a big ones there when Ash is like, I'm supposed to be the Pokemon trainer. That was actually a pretty good bit, so I would say that's good. There is a part where when Team Rocket's mad when Ash is like revealed that he is not the Mr. Mime. There's a whole bunch of anime sweat drops in that scene, including I think there's one on the costume. Like Ash is in the costume and there's a sweat drop on the outside of Mr. Mime. So plus points for that. This is actually a really good episode.
It's a good episode for
the sweat drop motif. Yeah, there's even more. There's the Ash and Pikachu both do it when Brock is acting creepy at the beginning.
Oh, this is beautiful.
This is top. This is at least a 9 in my books.
I was thinking 8. I'm gonna go with 8.
I'll go with 9. So we score out of 10.
Curtis,
what do you think?
1 to 10.
I gotta go with the 9. Like that was at least 4 to 5 good references. So I gotta put it up there.
8.666.
Yeah.
Repeating, of course.
Repeating, of course.
And second category will be characters falling in surprise and embarrassment. So that one's mine. We got the duo.
We got the 2 animation tropes.
I think I only noted like 1 or 2.
Oh no.
So it's not as good. Let me see here. I put them in brackets. Where are they? When Delia says, "I thought it was strange that you ate so nicely," and Ash falls over.
All right. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I caught.
Ooh.
It's the only one. And it's only okay.
A little on the weak side, I guess. I mean, it's not a bad one, but yeah, that's a 3 from me, dog.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I'll join on the 3 because
the 3 train.
So that is a 3 all around. That will be 6666666 divided by.
Whoa, number of the beast.
5.8333 repeating, of course.
There you go. So your favorite episode, Curtis, got a 5.8 from the objective ranking system. How does that make you feel?
Oh, honestly, I might just have to log off. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
Well,
yeah.
Don't hate the player, hate the 4.
I'll do the classic. Wait. Oh, well, I'm thinking there was more times that Ash fell over in the episode. It's got to be a 9.
Back.
There's probably another one. There's probably one or two others. Sometimes
our hearts
I don't
fell
catch
over
them.
in laughter. Does that count?
Yeah, like in university, anything over 50 is a win for me, so I'm taking it.
I
The
feel
episode passes.
Yeah.
That was my degree.
Congratulations.
Beautiful. All right, that's episode 66. It's Mr. Mime Time. Now it's episode 67, Showdown at the Poke-ké Corral, which another spelling error in the title card. There's 2 L's in corral.
Man,
they put.
I feel like it's just it can't be a coincidence that I got both episodes with spelling mistakes.
It's incredible.
You know, I think that's
I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about. I see you, Curtis.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I've got notorious spelling problem issues, and it goes beyond other stuff. And so, yep, that's a sign from above saying, "Yep, it's meant to be."
Is it a spelling problem, or are you just so creative that the English language can't contain you?
See, that's where I'm at, is that I feel like I'll take the blame on some of these words, because, like that, I definitely butchered that, but there's a lot of words, like cupboard and stuff like that, where, like, that's not on me. I am not taking the blame for that. Like, somebody ruined that word because it's cupboard, and somebody took the P out, and that's not on me.
Yeah, that's just a mess. Wednesday, what the hell's that shit?
Yeah.
That's not on me, man.
It's not. It's just not. I'll take, like I said, I'm all up for even roasts. I'll take them when I deserve them, but you got to take them back. So English, step up.
Beautiful.
All right, Showdown at the Poke-ké Corral. I found this to be kind of a misleading title. There wasn't really a showdown.
No, that makes it sound like it's going to be some hype Looney Tunes Western kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a slice of life episode.
Yeah,
it's just like
is.
let's chill out in the garden for 20 minutes and then end.
Yeah.
The showdown is Ash and Gary having a dick measuring contest.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
That's all it is. So, open the episode. Ash is at the Pokemon League. We made it already. We're at the Pokemon League. It's beautiful. He's going to become a Pokemon master. He goes to throw his ball. He's going to start the battle, and it boomerangs around, grows in size, catches him. It was a dream. Of course it was.
Of course.
I low-key thought you guys gave me the first episode of the what's it called when I was watching it. I was like, oh snap, man, I'm in for a real treat. And then that happened. And I was like
Right, so Ash he dreams himself being sucked into the ball because Ash's mom's Mr. Mime is vacuuming his face. That's what wakes him up. What a rude awakening.
Beautiful. And so we go to the kitchen. Brock's already cooking up breakfast. Misty's up. Ash is the last one up. Togepi and Pikachu included. He complains about Mr. Mime vacuuming his face. And Delia says, well, you know, when Mr. Mime sees something dirty, he has to clean it.
She just roasts him like Christmas dinner.
I love it.
And so Misty makes a joke about Ash's poor hygiene. Says, you don't have to take a bath for another week. Which I don't know how that. I don't think that works like that, Misty.
No.
Well, maybe.
I don't think I can vacuum my armpits and that'll get rid of the smell. That'd be incredible.
But
though.
Misty's the water trainer, so like maybe like swimming in the pool counts, and so she just baths like once a week, but she swims in her pool like her clean pool. Emphasis on clean. You know, the other 6 times a week.
Do you think that when they're on the road and in the woods for like weeks at a time, that they just get like Staryu to blast them with hydro pumps?
Yes,
to clean off.
100%. Why else would you be a water trainer?
And Geodudes to dig them outhouses.
Ah, yes. He digs the poop holes.
Exactly.
That's a great task.
All right, Geodude, you're on shit duty again. Geo.
So Delia tells Mime, to go pick some vegetables. He's all about it, and Ash gets depressed. That was his job. Now Mr. Mime is taken over. I'm sorry, Ash. But they need to go. They gotta get moving because they gotta go talk to Oak soon. Ash totally forgot that that's why they came back to Pallet and was to go talk to Oak about the Pokemon League. Meanwhile, Team Rocket are moping around about not having captured any Pokemon, going towards the Team Rocket headquarters, which look a lot different than last episode.
They have, as Meowth describes, they've come down with CFS, chronic failure syndrome.
We can't help it. We were born this way.
So they walk up to the fortress, and they're nervous. They're like, man, Giovanni's going to rip us a new one. They're going to quit. They're like, you know what? We're done with this life. We're turning around. boom, the place explodes.
And Metal Sonic flies away.
It's so funny that they slipped in these small little, like, ridiculously hype sci-fi montages into what are otherwise, like, goofy, fun episodes that have nothing to do with them.
Well, they're supposed to hype you up for the first movie.
Right.
That's what it's doing.
With these, like, 30 seconds of sci-fi action.
And so Giovanni is left in the rubble with Persian. He is just pissed at Jesse and James. Why the hell are you guys here? Do your job for a change. Just fucking roasted. And then he goes off in his private jet because he's an evil billionaire, and evil billionaires have private jets.
Yeah, I do imagine that's how Jeff Bezos gets from, like, meeting to meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You screwed up my Starbucks order? You suck. How dare you? And then he gets on a jet and zips away.
Then they run over all the cars in the parking lot to take off.
It makes the most sense.
Team Rocket have changed their tune from when they thought they were going to quit. They renew their vows as criminals, and they're going to steal some more Pokemon, or they're going to try to steal any Pokemon for once in their life. And then we're back at Oak's lab. They walk in, and they're excited to see Professor Oak. Professor Oak is excited to see Togepi, and not Ash. He likes Togepi, which I like Togepi too.
You know, there were previous episodes where Oak was, like, just giving Ash a hard time and very up in his grill. And in this one, Oak is just like, yeah, whatever, Ash, you're doing great, whatever, cool. He's chill now.
But Gary's also here, and he says, I'm not surprised he showed up late. I'm surprised he showed up at all.
And it's on right from the get-go. The tension between these two rivals, unbelievable.
Palpable. And so Oak tells them that Gary and Ash are the top 2 trainers from Palette. Neither of them like this. They want the other one to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
They can't just accept a mutual, like, acceleration at Pokemon. It's like, nah, we gotta be the worst.
They can't comprehend a world where they're grouped together because they see themselves as polar opposites. But from the outside looking in, they're very similar.
Yeah, they're both incredibly driven.
Yes.
To achieve the same goal. They just do it in different ways. And that's kind of the point of the episode.
Yeah, I'd say that's the strongest theme, yeah.
And so we see Ash is crabby for the first time in a long time. He's become a waiter at Professor Oak's.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
he's serving the platter of
the
dainties.
R2-D2. He's just walking around like, can I interest you in a crab cake? A crab cake? What the hell? What the hell, Oak? I'm out of here.
And Oak tells them that Ash and Gary have earned the most badges by this point. The others didn't have the skill. Ash was far behind all the others for a while, but he surpassed them, and the other 2 trainers that left Palette have kind of given up. They're not around anymore. As we saw last time, Gary has 10, Ash has 8. And it's time for them to compete in the league. And Ash is about to run out the door to the league, and then they remind him, Ash, you don't know where it is. That's why we're here.
You don't know anything, Ash. And Gary kind of can sense that too. Gary's like smug and he's like, where is it, Ash? Tell me.
Can you tell me where the Pokemon League meeting is? Can ya? And Oak tells them.
Yeah.
It's atop the Indigo Plateau precisely 2 months from today. And over 200 trainers will compete.
Dang.
It's a big thing. Big event.
You know, it's weird because Gary's a smug asshole and we all hate him. But I kind of see his point of view in this episode. Because Gary actually knows things about, like, the Pokemon game, right? He knows the mechanics. He gets things done. And he's seeing this other guy succeed who is a fucking idiot. And it's like, he's like, what the hell, man? I'm, like, putting in all this work. I know all these things. And this guy's just getting it because of, like, piss and vinegar. Like, he doesn't even know what types are.
This is the correlation between Gary and Ash and me and Kellen. And thus is something that I've always laughed at and been like, yeah, I 100% believe that is the equivalent.
Wait, who's the Gary and who's the Ash?
Oh,
I think I'm the Gary.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
do
don't even
such a
argue
good
it.
Gary impression.
I'm the one doing, like, the calcs and the optimal strategies most of the time. And Curtis is just, like, throwing shit against the wall and seeing what
you
sticks.
play with your heart, you're saying. I like
Oh,
it.
yes.
I like
Yep.
And so back to Delia's house, Team Rocket knocks at the door. They're disguised as news reporters, and they want to interview Ash, but Mime sweeps them away, quite literally, which I loved.
Yeah, I like this segment.
Mime MVP.
When Team Rocket dresses up, they dress up. They look great in these reporter outfits.
Except for their hair.
They're from the PNN, the Pokemon News Network. Oh, they're terrible as disguises. They're good as outfits. Like, they should just go into journalism. So they work for the Pokemon News Network, apparently, and they're looking for to create the show Pokemon Masters of Tomorrow. That's why they're looking for Ash. They tell Ash's mom. Yeah, and Mr. Mime just starts sweeping, and he just sweeps them.
Yeah, and they run down the path. Mime, best character. Love Mime.
And Ash's mom yells at them as they're being swept away. She's like,
"They're at the lab!"
One of the favorite things, actually, I forgot to mention that I loved about Mr. Mime and Ash's mom is that, like, within literally, like, minutes, like, the connection between Mr. Mime and Ash's mom is, like, already a stronger Pokemon bond than, like, most of Ash's.
Yeah, I noticed
that's a
that.
good point.
But yet she's never considered a trainer. You know what I mean? She doesn't need a
Yeah.
Pokeball to store Mr. Mime. None of this stuff. And just, like, within, like, a minute, she's got the power and authority to be like, yep, boom, I've caught this thing. Not caught, figuratively, but it's like, yep.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that at the end of the last episode, because they've known each other for like 20 minutes, and at the end of the episode, like, Mime's already just standing there in Delia's arms. Like, she has her arm around him, he has his arm around her waist. It's weird.
That makes me think that, so there's almost this undertones that whoever Ash's father is, like, that he's a great trainer, and that's why Ash is destined.
Ooh.
Maybe it's Ash's mom all along who's like skilled with Pokemon.
Maybe.
I like
the dad is just some deadbeat who left years ago.
I like that theory.
Or
Or
it was Mr. Mime dad, and he came back.
Oh my god. After all these years, it's you, Dad.
Mime!
Oh. God, okay.
So back to the
don't want
lab.
fan art to that.
So back to the lab. Gary brags about how much bigger his Krabby is.
Yeah, and here's
He
the
says
dick
that he's-
measuring contest you talk about. They just whip out the
Almost
rulers,
literally.
slap them on the table.
He's been rotating through all of his Pokemon to make them stronger, and apparently this makes them bigger, he says.
I think he just found
No.
a really good gym membership for this Krabby.
Yeah.
He's lifted.
Krabby's been working out at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, that thing's a Kingler, if anyone asks.
Gary bets that Ash uses all the same Pokemon over and over again, which he's got you there, Ash. Bulbasaur, use Vine Whip every other fucking episode.
Hey, if it works.
Don't break it.
Brock tries to get Oak to tear this fight apart, but he's into it. He's enjoying this show. Sipping
He
his
says,
tea.
I'm a professor, not a referee.
And Gary lectures Ash about type matchups because Lord knows Ash needs that lecture.
This is what I mean by I can kind of get Gary's point of view. He's like, if people are telling me that we're on the same level, like, you need to know the basics. So he quizzes him. Like, what would you use against Geodude?
Yeah, and Gary says, well, I would use a water-type Pokemon with a grass as a backup. And Misty says, yeah, Ash would use Pikachu.
Yeah, Gary's like, what a loser.
Everyone knows electric attacks don't work on ground Pokemon, which that's what I've been saying for the past 32 weeks. But
yeah, so
whatever.
what's the message here? Because it's like, it's really good that Ash is, friends with his Pikachu, and he fights with his heart, and he believes in himself. But there is still a place for some, like, basic knowledge, isn't there?
Yeah, I think you need to kind of know what you're doing in order to do it well.
There's a balance.
Ash does not know what he's doing.
Like, Gary goes too far in the opposite direction. He's min-maxing his Pokemon, but he doesn't give a shit about them. Ash is stupid, but he cares about his Pokemon. You could be somewhere in the middle, right? I think they need to, like, do a fusion dance, and then you get the perfect trainer.
We need a third trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, one just was smack dab in the middle. And so Oak has compared the guy's Pokedexes. Gary has caught way more Pokemon than Ash, but Ash has also seen more Pokemon than Gary. Gary chalks us up to, you use your Pokedex on everything. I know what these Pokemon are already. Which, probably true.
Big flex.
Yeah, so Gary is basically claiming he catches Pokemon he hasn't registered. He's just He's throwing balls, asking questions later.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ash is pointing his Pokedex at every fucking blade of grass, wondering what kind of Pokemon it is.
Yeah, and he always opens with the question. He's like, is this
What's
a
that?
Pokemon? Is that a Pokemon?
And so they go to let Gary brag about all of his Pokemon. They go to the place where all the Pokemon, all the Pallet Town trainers' Pokemons are stored. And we take a look at Ash's reserve of Pokemon, which are 2 Pokeballs containing Krabby and Muck, and then 30 Tauros from the Safari Zone episode.
Right.
Good selection, good variety.
Incredible. And so they continue their dick measuring contest. Oak says they're both valid ways to train Pokemon. You know, Gary is doing some min-maxing. Ash is making personal bonds with each other, with his Pokemon. He gives this whole philosophical speech about how Pokemon are also living beings and deserve respect and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that part was kind of nice. It was a little
I
lofty.
tuned out a little bit.
It was a little lofty, but I kind of liked it. Yeah, he's like you if when you care for Pokemon, that's how you get to know yourself too, because they're part of the world and it's about feeling connected. So I was like, all right, yeah, I got you.
Beautiful.
Respect.
Meanwhile, Team Rocket are walking to the lab and are very, very tired. They're taking the back way in as to not get caught. Jesse kicks a stone at a tree, and flashback to episode 3 or 4 of the series.
Samurai, I hardly knew her that episode, right?
Yeah. A bunch of Kakuna fall from the tree, and then a herd of Beedrill chase them down the path. They run into a Snorlax blocking the road.
Should have known they'd be like this in a Pokemon researcher's garden.
That's all we get from
when
them
they
for
smack dab into that Snorlax, and James is like dizzy, he yells, "Get the license plate number!"
Get their insurance carrier!
He thinks he's been in a hit and run.
And so we get this like computer screen about Oak's day. I noted this is Oak's vlog. I think Oak is a vlogger.
That is
researcher.
absolutely what it felt like. He's like,
Yeah.
every Tuesday and Friday, folks, new vlogs.
So we go through a typical day in the life of Professor Oak. He wakes up, he checks on all the Pokemon, and then lets them out for exercise and fresh air in their specialized habitats. And it's breakfast time. It takes so long to feed them all breakfast, but by the time he's finished, it's lunchtime, and he has to feed them all lunch. Then it's research in the afternoon, dinner, and back to the Pokeballs to do it all over again the next day.
Yeah, he's currently researching
very
variations within species, and that bit just had him like looking at 2 Rattatas that look identical. He's like, Rattata A, Rattata B, okay.
And Gary's Doduo comes up on them. I love it. This is adorable. I love Doduo. I believe this is the first time we've seen Doduo. We've seen Dodrio, but not Doduo.
Yeah, if we have it, it's just briefly, not too much.
Doduo is a flying type Pokemon that has 2 heads and no wings.
Yeah, it runs faster than it flies. It's a double-headed ostrich.
Love it. I love Doduo. But it's also one of those like pinnacles of not great Gen 1 design where its evolution is just it with another head.
Yeah, they did a bit
Beautiful.
of that, eh? Where
Beautiful
they're like,
concept.
add another head. Smush them all together. Now there's 3 of them. Okay, cool. Ship it.
Yeah, Dodrio, Coughing, Muck, Magneton, a lot of it in Gen 1.
But it's the best, though. It's the best.
We need an evolution for this pile of grime Pokemon. What's it gonna be? Throw it in paint and stretch it out a little bit. Boom, there you go. Call out an evolution.
Imagine if they had done
Whole
that
design
to
process.
some of the other Pokemon. Like now Pikachu's our favorite. What should the next Pikachu look like? What should the evolved form? How about 3 Pikachus held together by a belt?
3 Pikachus in a trench coat and done deal.
Oh, more fan art. That is
Fan art.
hilarious. They're like
That's great.
trying to get into a bar.
Yeah.
Like, trust us, we're an adult.
Trust us, we're stage 2.
Yeah, I know all about Thunderstones. Trust me.
So Oak designed the place to research Pokemon so that they would all be in their own kind of natural habitats, so that he could learn what makes them different when they're interacting with trainers. And he's made an interesting discovery. Pokemon take on the characteristics of the people that catch them. And Ash makes a joke about Misty being that way with Psyduck, implying that Misty's dumb. That does not. You're just wrong, Ash. That's just not how that works.
Yeah, would that also imply that Misty gets like superpowers when she gets a headache?
Her head gets pretty big.
I hope so.
You've
That's
seen
true.
that.
But Brock really sweeps in with the logic.
Yeah, he thinks he has a girlfriend.
He's like, Susie gave me the Vulpix. She loves the Vulpix. The Vulpix likes me. I am like, that means the Vulpix likes me is like me. So therefore, Susie loves me. End of proof. Thank you.
And I am so glad he gives that context, because the first line is just him holding up Vulpix and him going, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, and you're like, hello, police.
But Oak says it's only when the Pokemon has regular contact with a trainer that they form these similar characteristics, and that's why Krabby and Muck have become attached to Oak, because they have been staying at the lab this whole time. And then Muck comes running in, or kind of running in, and tackles Oak down to the ground. And
Yeah, what is the
I don't know.
correct verb for Muck moving fast? I noticed you trip along the word run. And yeah, what is it?
I
Sludge?
have no idea.
And Muck
Stroll.
sludges along?
Stroll is a
He-
good word.
Strolls, slimes along. What does a snail do?
I don't
Maybe
know.
the same concept, I
Slugs.
think.
He slugs?
Yeah.
Slugs? Yeah, slugs.
Is that a verb? It is now. Comes
Muck
slugging
comes
along.
Slugging along. Tackles Oak. And back to Team Rocket. They're still trying to get to the lab. They're climbing up this mountain now. Jesse grabs onto a Geodude, flings it out of the way, grabs a Sandshrew. Sandshrew Fury swipes her face out, and then they awaken an Onix that chases them down the path. That's it for Team Rocket for now. We're just getting all these little gags from Team Rocket.
I
this
think
episode.
that this is the appeal for the episode, because this episode doesn't really have a plot, but it's
No.
like things like this are just like, you're basically hanging out in Oak's Pokemon Sanctuary, and it's kind of chill. It's kind of nice. If you tuned in, you hadn't seen a Pokemon episode, you want something action-packed, you'll be sourly disappointed. But if you're like, I just want like a comfy chill with the Pokemon episode, it's kind of good for that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
it's okay. So Ash thinks Oak must have every kind of Pokemon that there is in the world, but Oak believes there are plenty of Pokemon no one's ever seen before. And Ash flashbacks to episode 1 when he saw that mysterious bird in the sky that he hasn't seen since. And, there's no way to know when you have seen every Pokemon that is in existence. Which, hey, that's kind of like the real world.
Kind of.
Look at that.
I think the number of Pokemon have grown a little bit quicker than the number of known animals, but
By about almost tenfold. So Ash and Gary vow to find as many Pokemon as they can, and then they're gonna battle. But there's been an explosion at the
Boom.
Electric Pokemon Preserve. Kaboom! And we go there, a bunch of Voltorb and Electrode have blown themselves up
yeah, they're
in self-defense
Yeah.
against Team Rocket. They're in the crater, too.
Team Rocket's in the crater. They're sad. They're tired. They want to go to bed.
They've had
They're
enough
so-
of the day.
They're so pathetic this episode.
It's true.
The gang approaches them, and this reinvigorates them a little bit. They're like, oh my god, it's Pikachu. We need Pikachu. But Gary and Oak are amazed at the talking Meowth.
Talk
Which is
more,
great.
please.
Meowth is loving the attention, though.
Oh, yeah. I'd be glad to, Pops.
He starts doing the whole motto because he loves the attention so
He's
much.
trying to steal all the lines. He's like stepping on Jesse and James's face during it.
Yeah, and then they step on his face and
Yeah, they're like,
beat
stop
him up.
stealing our material.
And so Gary and Ash go after them, but then Ash's herd of 30 Tauros come charging in and then send them blasting off again. Misty says, have a nice flight! Ah, Misty getting in there with one.
Yeah, truth bombs.
Boom, on the way out.
Grenade from the grave.
Gary is tired. He's going to go home. Ash says, what about our battle? And then he's like, you know what? We can wait until the league to do that. I like these moments from Ash and Gary because they start every episode together hating each other, and then by the end, they have like a little bit of respect for each other, and the next time an episode with both of them rolls around, they're back to just hating each other completely again.
It is a good combination.
It's beautiful. And so Ash is going to start working on preparing for the league right away. But Oak makes them fix the fence before they can go anywhere, claiming it'll make them better trainers, friends, and people. When really, it's just child labor, Oak.
Yeah, he drops
That's all
him
it
with
is.
a life lesson again, which is really just manipulation.
Yeah.
The best.
It's funny how he can seem so wise and so manipulative.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree 100%. And every time he does it, he's always got like that big smile on his face too. He like kind of closes his eyes a little bit so cheerfully, yet he's delivering the most like manipulative concept.
The Oak shit-eating grin.
Yep,
Yes.
where he's just like, yes, Ash,
Yes.
you will need to fix the
Dang
fence.
And all good, tough little kids leave at 10 so I can go Netflix and chill with their moms. Yes, Ash.
Oh, God.
And so the narrator gives this whole spiel about how Ash is learning about life, which I don't buy, and that is the episode.
It is the episode. So, the literary hour. Ooh, I had to flex quite a bit for this one. This episode doesn't have a plot. I do have an idea though. Any ideas first from you two about what sort of comparisons there could be here?
Absolutely not.
Does it have to be like a book, or can it be like any like
anything? I usually look for books, but it can be anything.
I'm going with like low key like a reality TV show like Terrace House or like The Bachelor, but you know, a little different, but similar concepts where it's like you tune in and it's just like, yeah, this is life.
Yeah, it's all the Pokemon. They're in one house. The Onyx and the Jigglypuff are dating, but oh my god, Jigglypuff's also cheating on Onyx with the Ponyta. Things have gotten fiery, people. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was going for that kind of thing too. But I was thinking of the George Orwell novel Animal Farm. Are either of you familiar with Animal Farm?
Ooh.
I know the basic premise, I think.
So it's a story about a farm, but it's all the animals are given personalities, and it is a metaphor for Stalin's Russia. So basically, there's an old drunk farmer who runs the farm, and all the animals hate it. And he's supposed to be the old school Russian Tsar, so the kings and the queens. Then there is this old sort of pig who has a whole lot of proverbs and wise things. His name is Old Major. And he is supposed to be a stand-in for either Karl Marx or Lenin. So he's like preaching kind of the ideals of communist Russia. He dies early on, leaving 2 pigs to kind of organize the rebellion against the farmer. Okay. And the 2 pigs, Napoleon and Snowball, are supposed to be stand-ins for Joseph Stalin and Leon Trotsky. Okay. And then they eventually take over the farm, but end up basically replacing the farmer and making their own dictatorship. They had started to try to take over the farm with the ideas that all the animals would be equal, and it descended into dictatorship with Napoleon eventually ruling and kind of turning into a human, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Where I wanted to bring this, though, is how good of a setting would Oak's little Pokemon sanctuary be here for a Pokemon version of Animal Farm? Where you have, like, what would the Pokemon be? Like, maybe the Onyx would be the old Karl Marx Pokemon. And Oak is clearly the old drunk farmer who needs to be displaced. I would love to see Pikachu be the Stalin stand-in who eventually becomes a dictator. Like, maybe they give him a mustache and a hat later.
That'd be good.
So your whole comparison is predicated on Animal Farm has a farm with animals. Oak has a farm like plays with animals. Boom. That's it.
To simple minds such as yours, I can see how this comparison is thin like butter on toast, when in fact it is fat and nourishing like cheese. Because how good of a parody of Animal Farm would that be if they like remade Animal Farm but with Pokemon? Come on, that would be fire. That would be fire.
I'm there.
Okay, we got one fan. Good.
Yep.
Only that's it. That's gonna be all the fans.
All right. Well, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Is that the whole thing? Okay.
It's beautiful. What do you mean that's it? That was everything we needed and more. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
To the 4-4, first category for Showdown at the Poke-ké Corral will be the animation. Anything stand out?
This isn't like a hot Sakuga episode.
No,
right?
no.
It's not an action episode. It's a life lessons. I would say there's some like nice graphical design kind of flourishes, like Oak's vlog. Like a border pops up on the screen and stuff. That's kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the gusto of like a good animated episode.
It's not the solar beam. It's no Charizard versus Magmar.
Oh yeah. Charizard versus Magmar was the dopest animation ever.
It's a 6 for me.
Yeah, I'd go even lower, like a 3. Like the only nice kind of innovative part is the border during Oak's vlog.
Going off of that, if we're saying the best thing that it brought was a border, then I gotta go with like a 4.
All right, so that is math.
Well, yeah, I made a real tough.
Use a calculator.
Yeah,
6 plus 3 plus 4 divided by 4.33. Repeating. And category number 2 will be sweet sentences.
Oh, it's the big Oak thing. The big Oak monologue about being in touch with your Pokemon and being in touch with yourself makes you a whole person. That's the main sweet sentence of the episode. I do like that as a sweet sentence. And it kind of is the kind of sweet sentence you usually look for, Kellen, where it's this like lofty, philosophical sort of fairy tale about love and life and Pokemon, how we should all get along and the power of friendship and being in touch with ourselves, blah, 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 blah. So it's pretty good. But that's the main sweet sentence. So it's not a sweet sentence episode, but it has one really good one. So
he's got that.
I want to give it I think that sentence alone is a 6.
He's got that one, and he's got the one at the end with the fence, where he's talking about, working together will make you better friends and trainers and people.
Right, and
which isn't as good, but it's
in like a Tom Sawyer kind of way. He's like tricking them into the fence.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all Oak's sort of sentencery.
Yeah, it's another 6 for me.
Yeah, I'm down with the 6-ness.
I'll join. Ooh, but that's bad mojo.
The number of the beast.
The number of
Sure, I'll do it for the
I
corral.
like heavy metal.
Hit me with a 6.
6.
No,
It's
you
a
said it
6
out loud in a
average.
row. Now we're screwed.
Ah.
Mr. Mime's coming for you in the middle of the night.
Hey, I don't know. That's not a curse. That's a blessing.
Oh, there you go.
On the spreadsheet, it's my score, Graham's score, guest score, average score. So it's actually 6. So it's fine.
No, we're good.
So that's 5.1666 repeating.
Another
For
pass.
Showdown at the Poke-ké Corral. 2 average episodes today.
But not average in our hearts.
That's right.
But that's it for today.
Yes,
That's
that
what we
is the episode. Curtis, thanks for joining. This was a blast. I good to get to know you and your sense of humor, and also your love of Mr. Mime. Very unique and awesome.
Well, thank you very much. I was more than happy to be here, and if you need me again with some more of the wacky misfits, I'm in. I got a repertoire of them that I can wait for.
Oh, we'll get you back for Wobbuffet.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
Wow.
That'd be great.
Wobbuffet. You know he's number one. He's mine.
But Curtis, you do online content stuff. Why don't you shout out your things?
Ooh,
for the listeners.
I get a shout out. This is great. I do some shenanigans over on JustPlainUniverse on YouTube. We do quite the wide variety of stuff on there. Sometimes I don't post for a while, but it's kind of an ongoing shtick. I think that people enjoy it.
We'll link that in the description.
We will.
Yeah.
Check out not only the interview he did with the singer of the Pokemon theme song, Jason Paige. Also check out the web series Pothead, Your Local Superhero, because it is a thing of beauty.
Ooh,
it is incredible.
Ooh,
it is
that
fantastic,
sounds fun.
and I'm in it a little bit.
Yeah,
so you got both of us. It's great. But that's yeah. So that is that. You want to know what we're doing next week?
Yes, that is the other thing we do at the end.
That's the other thing.
What's next week, Kellen?
2 more episodes. Episode 68, The Evolution Solution, Fun to say. And episode 69, nice. It's the P-Kahuna.
The P-Kahuna. All right.
And that is next
You heard it.
Monday.
That's what we get. We finally hit 69. We're a mature
Nice.
podcast.
Woo!
That's amazing.
All right, this has been To Kill a Delibird. We're on the Hydra Leech YouTube channel. Please shout us out in the comments. Any ideas, suggestions for the episodes, the forepaw, etc. How'd you find today's episode? We're also still looking for feedback on how did you find the podcast, looking to get kind of more word out there. Love the support so far and love hearing from you. You can also reach us at the Gmail, tokillAdelibird@gmail.com. Intro and outro music is 80s Synthwave by Alexi Action. And that's it. Hey, Kellen? Did I cover everything?
I think so.
Oh, and
That's-
for audio, anywhere fine podcasts are downloaded.
But you're listening to it already, so I think you know.
It's in your ears. It's in your
Yeah.
brain.
All right. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you next week.
You guys want to do one last Mr. Mime impression to play us out?
Mr. Mime.
Cue music.